with Santana. You're bigger, wear him down to the body. And for Perez, you're younger and faster. Outbox him, outwork him.
Benji Esteves is the referee, and they're scheduled for 10.
I repeat, protect yourself at all times. Give me a nice clean match. May the best man win. Touch him up.
So Santana ended up serving time at Rikers, was released last January. Told you, third fight since the issues in his life. He came back in May of 2011, had a second-round TKO victory, and then had a fifth-round TKO victory last August.
Perez has lost 3 of his last 5. I happen to think this could be a very interesting, good match.
Glad you're saying that.
Santana, the bigger guy, turned pro, 146 pounds, Joe. Entire career between welterweight, junior welterweight. While Perez turned pro at 127 pounds. And his entire career has been between featherweight and lightweight. So it's going to come down to making sure, for Perez that is, that Santana does not physically overwhelm him. Does not impose his size on him. Does not get inside and bang that drum.
So far, just taking tiny steps forward with the jab is Santana, as both men are measuring.
One edge that Perez does have is in the experience of amateurs. He's got 100 amateur fights, and Santana, as you mentioned earlier, only 24.
Perez started boxing at age 11. He was born in Hawaii to a family of 6 girls and 5 boy siblings, and moved to Denver at age 9, started boxing 2 years later in Colorado.
Santana's been inactive 6.5 months since his last fight. You go back 2 fights, he was off for those problems you talked about. He was off for 3 years, so little rust early. No better way for Perez to take advantage of that than to move those hands while that rust is still showing itself in the early rounds.
Perez doing a good job here in snapping off that jab, as Santana now gets to the inside before retreating.
Perez is a pretty good boxer. He likes to slip that head to the right usually, counter punch a little bit. There he goes to the right. Likes to counter punch. If you wait on him, he'll use his jab to set up combinations, but he likes to make you miss and then make you pay a little bit.
That's
he likes to
getting
put
out of the way of the right hand.
And Perez will put them together on you. Being a smaller guy, you would expect him to be a little busier, maybe a little faster.
Santana putting that right hand to the body after coming in with the jab that time.
One thing I see that Santana's not doing is not using that jab enough to control the outside. He's the bigger man. We know he wants to go to the body, but control the outside with that bigger jab, that longer jab. Stabilize Perez. Keep him where you want to keep him, in front of you. Limit what Perez can do.
Coming to the end of one between Perez and Edgar Santana. ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. And by Just for Men, knocks out the gray better than ever. We are just about 50 yards away from the first turn at the Monster Mile here at the first state, Dover, Delaware. We're going to be racing here June 3rd and September 30th this year. Of course, NASCAR Nationwide Series at Daytona, presented by GoDaddy.com. Saturday on ESPN. Coverage is going to start at noon Eastern with NASCAR Nationwide Series Countdown. And fittingly for the people at GoDaddy.com, Danica Patrick won the pole. That's the first race of the season, Saturday on ESPN.
I think Santana might be in for a tougher night than maybe him and his people bargained for. Although, I shouldn't say that, because looking at the weight Santana came in, he's ready for a tough night. Came in his lowest weight in over 5 years. So he knows what's at stake. He knows he's on national television. But other than Perez being smaller, he can be a handful. Especially, again, if Santana doesn't use that jab to control the outside and start digging to that smaller body.
Good up jab from Perez.
Perez getting a chance, left alone a little, to get a little rhythm going, a little confidence going. And again, maybe take advantage of a little rust early on.
That looked like a right hand that landed low that time as he ducked down. And he earns the warning from Zenji Esteves.
Esteves is a good referee.
He is.
Been around a long time, earned his way, paid his dues, worked in the amateurs years ago, 4 years before moving up into the pro ranks. Did it the right way. In the corner of Santana, former light heavyweight, cruiserweight fighter, Leon Taylor from New York. They called Leon the Cat.
Right hand just glancing. Then he doubles up that left hook, went to the body and got the top of the head of Perez, did Santana.
Santana needs to walk in behind the jab and go down to the kitchen of Perez and show him, yeah, I'm bigger, I'm stronger. What are you going to do about it?
There's a combination from Perez as he was able to get that right hand in the mix.
2 of Santana's 3 losses were close fights early in his career. One a split decision and one a majority decision.
Fight number 6 and 7 of his career. 1 in Puerto Rico and then 1 in Baltimore.
One real legitimate loss, of course, for Santana was when he was knocked out by a southpaw. Both these fighters have been stopped once.
Step at the belt.
End of 2. We're scheduled for 10 in our opener.
Talked about Santana wanting to come forward behind that jab, go to the body and so on, but look at that right hand behind the head. The referee missed that, holding a little bit behind the head of Perez, holding him stationary, Joe, so he could set him up for that left hook downstairs. That is illegal. The referee's going to have to catch that.
Just went with a right hand and then a left to the body did Santana. As we're in the opening moments here of round number 3. Scheduled for 10. Manny Perez, journeyman based out of Colorado, works 2 jobs when he's not boxing, has a full-time job delivering and working in a warehouse, and then works in a liquor store stocking and working the register on the weekends. Oh, by the way, training as a professional fighter.
And oh, by the way, Perez better not lay in front of Santana, where he might start eating some body shots. But oh, by the way, Perez, when he does lay in front, so far, Santana not making him pay a price.
Good work with the left hand that time by Perez. Backed it up with the right. Now on the inside. There's that left hook trying to get around that right elbow of Perez.
You know, I've been talking about Santana. The bigger guy should go, and he does go well to the body. He should go to the body of the smaller Perez, but Perez has an opportunity to go downstairs with Santana. Santana has a habit. He throw at his head, he raises his arms, his elbows come out. Just watch it, Joe. And he leaves the body open, and Santana has been floored with body shots before.
Perez scores with the left hand that time.
I'm Perez. If I'm going to be inside, I don't think he should lay in there too long, but if he's going to be there, I would touch him upstairs, Santana, with the left hook, and then bring it downstairs. Again, expose that body. Santana leaves those elbows out. Do a little Mickey Ward on him. Mickey Ward used to touch you upstairs with the left hook, and then real quick, before you got your arm back in place, touch you downstairs and touch you hard. Just notice Santana dropped his left hand to block a body shot of Perez. If I'm Perez or I'm in his corner, I'm telling him, hey, fake a body shot and then go upstairs. Perez is getting the pace he wants, Joe.
He is.
You know, a slow pace. Not a lot of offense from the bigger man. He's getting a chance to get a rhythm, as I said earlier. Taking a little advantage of it this round.
Yeah, it's been in a good rhythm for the last couple minutes here of round number 3.
Step at the belt.
I've been calling for body shots from Santana. Here's a right hand to the body, but a little low. That's why it didn't really affect Perez, because it hit a little bit on the cup where there's some protection down there.
Round 4 of our co-feature still to come tonight. Good-looking main event between recent belt holder Cristobal Cruz and top 10 ranked Juan Carlos Burgos. That's still to come. Plus Timothy Bradley is in studio. Promotional efforts underway for Bradley and Pacquiao is hitting good work here to the body as Manny Perez in the opening moments of round 4. Teddy's scorecard has it 29-28, 2 rounds to 1 for Manny Perez.
Timothy Bradley, one of the pound-for-pound people in the business. Acts like a champ in and out of the ring. We need more of them, especially after the last couple weekends in boxing. Things that could really bring the sport down and degrade the sport. Kind of behavior at press conferences and after fights. We need more Timothy Bradleys. And right now, we need more body work from Santana. He wants to win this fight, and he wants to dominate in areas he should be dominating. In areas of strength and size.
Shoulder to shoulder, but yet not firing off on the inside of Santana. Now he tries to place that left hand to the body.
Is it the rust of 6.5 months that's showing on Santana? And as I said 2 fights ago, he was off over 3 years.
Didn't fight from April 08 to May 2011. Pled guilty to third-degree sale of a controlled substance. Served time for his role in a drug trafficking ring. And this is his 3rd fight back.
See a little redness around the right side of the head of Perez. He gets in there with his noggin a little bit. Gets in there with that head. Perez has been involved in head clashes in his career.
That time he opened up and a left hook came in from Santana.
I don't think it's the best idea for Perez to lay in front. I said that earlier, but right now he's getting away with it a little bit.
Santana wasn't offering much up for most part of this 4th round when Perez was right in front.
Step out the belt.
Perez seemingly outworking him throughout those moments. Let's look at how CompuBox sees this so far between Manny Perez and Edgar Santana. We've been mentioning the work to the body. And according to CompuBox, Perez has a 23-15 body shot landed advantage over Santana.
And those are good numbers for Santana. Especially as we said throughout the night, Santana, the bigger guy, good body puncher, not taking advantage of those facts.
I like what Perez is doing with the left hand on the inside there with the hook and then trying to split the guard with the uppercut coming right off of it.
Perez doing a good job being a little busier, putting his punches together a little bit better, covering up well. The only thing I would add to Perez is walk around Santana.
Give him some angles there.
Yeah,
so predictable.
yeah, just step around him a little bit. Make Santana move his feet. Don't let him be the bigger guy. Don't let him set himself to hurt you. Don't lay right in front. Timothy Bradley knows how to do that.
There's a right hand, short right hand from Perez on the inside. Got a good main event tonight with Cruz and Burgos, and we feel like next week should be an entertaining show. We're going to be down at the Westin Diplomat in South Florida, 9 o'clock on ESPN2. The unbeaten Joan Guzman against Jesus Pabon. Ed Paredes also on that card. We've seen him many times before when we're in South Florida.
You know, it's almost amazing to see how little Santana is working. It must be frustrating to the corner of Santana. I mean, it's not like he's got to look for Perez, the smaller guy. He's right in front of him.
Perez landed the uppercut. Santana landed left hands to the body on that exchange.
It's not like Perez is being a little guy in the way that he's hard to find.
No, he's not a jitterbug in there.
No.
He's been so comfortable for the last 2.5 rounds squaring up right in front because he's been working successfully.
More punches by Perez, harder punches by Santana.
Able to get away from that left hook. And then you get an up jab of his own. As the infighting continues, and Santana tried to go to the body. Instead, it's Perez who lands the left hand to the flank of Santana.
So a minute ago that Santana made a defensive move. The problem with it, when he made it, he got himself out of position. You make a defensive move, you're supposed to be in position to punch back. Santana gets himself out of position sometimes.
Good entertaining rounds here between Perez and Santana.
Look.
You know, Perez notices that Santana puts the earmuffs on. He just covers up. So what does he do? He goes to the body and then he goes up the middle with the uppercut. Good work by Perez.
Santana comes out firing here to open up this round. He landed a right hand and then came in with a left hook as well. And now Perez trying to settle him down and meet him with a couple jabs to the body. Round number 6 of our co-feature.
You know, if you ask what Santana was doing wrong, it's not that complicated. You wouldn't have to go down the list of different things. Defense and this and angles and shortness of punches and anything. You just say Santana's not working enough.
Perez with an uppercut and then a straight right hand, and Santana nods at him.
Plain and simple. You can't win a fight, bigger or smaller, if you don't move your hands enough. Santana not moving his hands enough.
Spirited effort from the journeyman from Denver, Colorado, Manny Perez, and he enjoys a 3 rounds to 2 rounds edge on Teddy's scorecard through 5 rounds.
See those little moves there by Santana? You know, they look good. You know, they have an aesthetic value to them, but he's not in position when he makes them. You make a defensive move, so he's out of position. You want to teach a guy, and we're talking about Santana, you make a move, you want to make sure you're in position so you can punch back and you can avoid the next punch. Not take yourself out of position. Otherwise, it's just a fancy move. It's not effective. And if you're a fighter, whatever moves you make, you want them to be effective. You see, not a lot of pop on the punches from Perez, but just more of them. Perez better,
with 3 punches there as he stepped forward.
Perez better be careful. He's walking in without the jab, straight in. He's going to leave himself open to an uppercut. He's leaning a little bit too short of Perez now. Could be a real good spot for Santana's uppercut.
All that success on the inside brings about some false confidence. Could be dangerous as he gets a little too comfortable. There's a right hand.
And again, Perez out of position. Joe, when Perez made that move, he made too many moves there. His legs weren't set, and he wasn't ready to punch back.
Step out the belt.
End of 6.
The great thing about the racetrack is you never know when you might get a hot tip. Stick around for the fight plan. I might have a winner for you. You feel lucky?
Go, 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 go!
We're just on the edge of that clubhouse turn of the harness track here at Dover Downs for Friday night fights. I don't know if Saul's feeling lucky to be around us near the races. They usually give us our tickets already torn up, typically, when we go to the track today.
Well, by the way, we didn't stay with that shot long enough. If we stayed just a few more seconds, you would have saw Saul's horse coming.
Right, he's still running.
he wasn't far behind.
So that fight plan will detail the strategy that'll be put forth between Cristobal Cruz and Juan Carlos Burgos. That's coming up in the main event. Of course, Cruz, a guy who we've seen many times, always gives a solid effort, always an entertaining style. A recent titleist. And Juan Carlos Burgos, a guy who's really on the move at 24 years old, coming off a good victory against a well-thought-of and well-regarded prospect, having fought for the title over a year ago in what was a thrilling fight in Japan. Let's look at the CompuBox numbers. Once again, we're focusing on the body work, but this is the round-by-round breakdown, and you see the effort that was put forth in the 5th round. By far the most entertaining round of this fight so far. But Perez looking to grab an upset win here. A 7-loss journeyman fighter, Manny Perez. Working guy, holds down 2 jobs while forging ahead as a professional fighter against Santana, who had those legal troubles, and now 3 fights into his comeback.
Well, Perez feels very comfortable and confident, pressing the bigger man, walking him down. You should do it behind the jab, though, not just walk in. And Santana, well, besides he should move his hands, period, I think he should start looking for an uppercut. That right uppercut maybe behind the blinding jab to catch Perez as he walks in. Look at Perez, lean forward a little, Joe, when he's coming in. Head in the middle, he can split that guard with a nice uppercut. You know, a horse race can't be won if the horse doesn't move his feet. Well, can't win a fight if a fighter doesn't move his hands. Santana just not moving him. He eats a left hook there. Now, I don't have to be Willie Shoemaker to make that assessment.
Just got out of the way of another left hook there from Perez. Perez has had somewhat limited activity in recent years. Did have the draw against Brandon Rios back in 2008. He's coming off a decision loss, going the distance with Mercedo Gesta, a good-looking prospect from the Philippines. And now trying to close in on a win here against Edgar Santana.
I've been talking about Santana. You should look for that right uppercut. He's in position for it right there. And so is the head of Perez to receive it. But no right uppercut from Santana.
Round 8, scheduled for 10. Teddy's scorecard has Manny Perez taking the last 3 rounds, 68-65. Let's bring in one of the best in the business, Timothy Bradley, who is our guest studio analyst tonight. Of course, will have himself a big year, taking on Manny Pacquiao come this June. Timothy, how do you see this fight?
Well, right now I see Manny Perez, you know, he's trying to still close the gap. You know, and he was doing great work when he was in the inside. Now it looks like Santana's decided to go back on the outside, use his jab and his movement, and now Perez got to refine him again. You know, he was doing well when he was going to the body, but now it looks like he's beginning to get outboxed. So he needs to close that gap, use that jab, move that head side to side, and bang that body to wear this big guy down.
You enjoying your week of a whirlwind promotion, champ?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm enjoying it. I love New York. You know, L.A. was a great press conference there as well, but New York was a little bit bigger, and you know, a lot of fight fans out there, a lot of media attention, and it's great.
Perez landing the left hand. Well, that's very nice of you to say, a guy from Palm Springs. We're going to be out there. Friday Night Fights will be in the Palm Springs area in mid-March, so maybe you can stop by and say hello in person. As Timothy Bradley, we'll be with Bernardo in studio throughout the night with more analysis.
The only thing Perez doing wrong, and he's not doing much wrong. I got to win in this fight, but the only thing he's doing wrong is when he presses forward to Santana, he doesn't do it behind the jab. He just walks in, and he allows Santana then to pot shot a little bit with jabs. But the guy landed the biggest shots now the last couple rounds, especially this round. It's the smaller guy, Perez. He's been finding a home with those left hooks.
Tries to drive down the right hand as Santana was looking to duck out of the way that time.
Every once in a while, Santana will step back a little bit, Joe, with that right hand low. Perez finds him with those left hooks. There's a left hook again by Perez. That time he missed.
Caught him with a right hand that time as both men opened up, and then a looping shot.
That.
Santana's supposed to be the big puncher in this fight, but look at Perez. He's looking for the big left hooks. Again, as I mentioned, when Santana pulls back, out of position and with his hand a little low.
Teddy, you know what I like about the start of this 9th round by Perez? He ran off the stool to meet Santana before Santana could get halfway across the ring. It actually made a little bit of a statement. As you can see now, he's making a statement with the continued efforts of those left hands.
It's still dangerous to be inside with the bigger Santana, but again, Santana has not really made it dangerous for Perez. Hasn't really sucked those big shots in on a regular basis to the body of the little Perez. And you can see Perez is little.
Santana able to dig that left hand to the body. Perez doubles up his left hand. Back to the inside he goes.
Some good work early by Santana downstairs, both sides this round.
Come up now, come on.
Little warning from Esteves, the referee, to keep him up to Perez. Santana doing some good work early, but now he retreats, goes out, and he behaves like he's the smaller guy, the quicker guy, instead of the bigger, stronger guy. I'm a little confused by it. Perez is not confused by it. He tracks him down and scores.
Noticeable bruising and swelling around the right eye of Edgar Santana as he picks up his pace a bit.
Again, early in this round, Santana doing what I think he needs to do, going to both sides of the body, but then he stopped. And since then, Perez has been doing good work. Real good work. Steady work.
Yep, earning every inch of the fight.
Yeah, he's a carpenter.
Yep, taking it piece by piece, and now a 3-punch combination with Santana walking back against the ropes.
And Perez just keeps nailing those shots in. Putting nails in that wood. Nothing fancy about Perez. His greatest strength, from what I can see, his attitude, his demeanor, his behavior. He's a fighter.
Right uppercut that time.
This decision goes the right way and something dramatic doesn't happen before the end. I think Perez is going to get a nice upset win here.
Stop at the bell.
And he's got a good shot right now.
Go that fight. You got, if you want it, you got to go get it.
Edgar Santana,
See how we feel.
I think, receiving a message of urgency as they worked on that right eye. This guy right here, Manny Perez, journeyman based out of Colorado with 7 losses, has worked solid and steady throughout 9 rounds. 10th and final round, and Santana opens with a blast.
We said right from the first round that Santana would have his hands full with Perez.
Let's show you Teddy's scorecard as Perez is trying to pull off this upset. Teddy's respected his work the whole backside of the fight. 88-83 for Perez.
Again, the only thing missing from Perez, he doesn't press behind that jab, so he allows some of that little pot shots with the jab on the way in from Santana. And again, some pot shots from Santana because there's no jab keeping him from doing that from Perez. That jab would stop all that. But Perez doesn't care about the jab. He just wants to get in.
Swelling around the left eye of Perez. It's the right eye of Santana that's been an issue. He doubles up that left hand. Misses with the right, then Perez sends off a couple of punches, including scoring with the left hand.
Again, switched identities here. Kind of like Eddie Murphy movie, Trading Places. Santana's supposed to be the big puncher, the stronger guy. A lot of spots in this fight where he's been a boxer, moving away from the smaller guy.
Now on the inside, there's a left uppercut from Perez as he digs to the body again.
Heavier punches from Santana. But Perez never really lets him get too much going. He'll come right back with his own.
Good infighting now. Good exchange. Both men scored that time. Perez landed the right hand. Santana went to the body. Now Perez goes to the body. Both men scoring with left hands there.
Again, good body work by Santana early in this round, or at least midway through, or three-quarters the way through this round.
But yet still, Teddy, I marvel at this. You picked it up very early. Perez fighting as if he's the bigger guy.
Yes, he is.
The bully on the inside.
Well, he is the bigger guy, where it counts, in his mind.
That's right. Good right hand, and then two left hooks from Santana. And what does Perez do? He meets him. Fires right back. Final 30 seconds as they look to finish strong here. Snaps back Santana's head. Digs to the body with a left hand.
Stop at the bell.
They bring it home on the inside. Perez with a right and a left to the body. Santana trying to meet him. And they fight right to the bell. Good spirited effort in that 10th and final round. Big night for Manny Perez. We'll see if the judges feel the same way when we come back to Dover Downs here on Friday Night Fights.
Is that fun enough for you?
ESPN Friday Night Fights presented by Corona Extras, brought to you by Volkswagen Tiguan. That's the power of German engineering. And by Verizon 4G LTE, America's fastest 4G network. Horses in the stalls before they head out to the trotter track here at Dover Downs. And right around the corner is the Grand Ballroom here at this hotel and casino at Dover Downs, that tonight will be home to Juan Carlos Burgos, prepping for recent titleist Cristobal Cruz. That is just moments away in our main event. But we got off to a good start tonight between Manny Perez and Edgar Santana.
Well, Santana started off the right way. Bigger man going downstairs to the body of the smaller Perez. But it didn't keep that way, because Perez, well, he might be smaller in body, but not in heart and mind. He started coming on, banging upstairs, downstairs, throwing that uppercut in between the gloves of Santana. And he was the one who looked like the bigger guy down the stretch, coming forward, getting inside.
CompuBox shows you that Manny Perez outlanded Edgar Santana 197 to 193. Teddy's scorecard, the middle of this fight, Teddy started giving credit Perez for all the effort on the inside. He swept rounds 5 through 9, 97-93, says Teddy. Did Perez do it? The journeyman with 7 losses, a guy who works 2 jobs. Let's find out. Let's send it up to the ring to Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and all 3 judges, David Braslow, Pierre Benoist, and Steve Weisfeld, are all in agreement, scoring it exactly the same, 96-94, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And new NABA Junior Welterweight Champion, Manny Perez.
Look at the emotion in the face of Perez. To understand what this means for a guy like this, a guy grinding out a regular guy's work week, working in a distribution plant for 55 hours a week, training in the morning and at night, and then on the weekends working in a liquor store, stocking shelves, working the register, whatever's asked of him to get a chance on national TV and come up with a spirited win like that, Teddy.
Yeah, the whole idea of what a fighter is what Perez illustrates. It's overcoming, finding a way. Never look at the record of a fighter. Look at the guys that he's fought, where he's fought them, and look at the way he behaves. Perez behaves like a fighter and a winner.